Welcome to the Songwriter Connection podcast, where we look at the craft of songwriting through the eyes of the songwriter. Each week, we make a connection with a music maker, listen to their songs, and hear their stories. From Nashville, Tennessee, here's your host, Dave Lenihan.
Thanks, Kate. I never really acknowledged her voice before. It's Kate Martin from New York City who did all these voices for us. And found her on Fiverr. She's just wonderful. I love her voice, and I think she fits the show very, very nicely. So thanks, Kate. Do appreciate you. Hey, I wanted to tell you, I was listening this week. We're recording this on May 5th, and it's really nice looking May day here in Nashville. So this is Cinco de Mayo, you say Mayo, whatever. So we're drinking margaritas, and we're going to have fun today. I've got an amazing group to introduce you to, and they're going to play live around the Duncan Fife dining room table. But I wanted to mention, I was listening to episode 101, and we talked with lovely ladies, sisters, out of the Delta area of Mississippi who live here in Nashville. Now they're called American Blonde. If you didn't get to hear that, go back and listen because they're really, really talented. But at the end of that show, I was noticing, I was saying that we were going to have very soon on the show Dr. Reverend Kim McLean, who's a hit songwriter, an amazing person. She's been on the show before, and she had written the last few songs of Loretta Lynn's life along with Loretta Lynn, and they wrote this book together, which is out now, called A Song and a Prayer. And unfortunately, when we were going to tape that, the week we were going to tape that episode, Kim's mother passed away. So, and now she's so busy on her book tour, but we're gonna reschedule eventually. That's the reason you haven't heard from Kim, and I wanted to just explain that to you right up front. So thank you for that. Hey, we're heard everywhere. We're every Wednesday there's a new episode of the Songwriter Connection podcast. We're on all the places, including YouTube. And if you're listening on YouTube, like and subscribe because that really helps. And I appreciate you very, very much. Well, I am so excited. I saw these guys for the first time back in the fall of 2022 as they visited Nashville. Randy Driscoll puts on a thing called Randy's Revival. And these three gentlemen stepped up on stage and just, knocked me on my butt, blew me away, and everybody else in the place. Since then, I've seen them 3 or 4 more times. They keep coming into Nashville from Ashville, North Carolina, and we're really happy to have Ashes and Arrows with us tonight. Kick it off with this song, all right, guys?
No, I don't need a special occasion to tell you how I feel. No, I don't need your arms around me to know our love is real. How could I be afraid of what's to come when you're standing this near? But we don't need a special occasion to rekindle what is here. Come between. The neighbors might think we're fighting, or we always cause a scene. And we may have our disagreements, we may have our ups and downs, but I never trade these moments and the times we've come around. We don't need a special occasion to rekindle what we found. Ooh. a special occasion to rekindle what we found.
They are Ashes and Arrows, amazing harmonies, and I want to introduce you to all the guys from Asheville, North Carolina. Ben Voigt to my right.
G'day.
G'day.
Yeah, I'm Ben.
Did I say Ben?
You did. Yeah.
Okay, I thought I did. You know, I have that squirrel brain. Jonathan Calhoun right across from me on the Duncan Fife dining room table, and to the left, Ciaran McBeacon. And it's good to have you all here. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on the podcast. I know
Thank you for having us.
A busy time when you come to Nashville.
Yeah.
When you get here, you stay busy. I know you're recording this week, and you recorded that song right there. You recorded, and of course, we are doing the show May the 5th for a June release. So by now, that song is out, right?
Maybe.
Possibly.
We're hoping.
Probably not.
Doubt it.
But
Doubt
search
by
for
then.
it.
Yeah, but maybe. Eventually it will be out.
Yeah.
Special occasion.
Yeah.
Y'all write this together?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Sure did.
Are most of your songs, all three of you, co-writing?
All of our songs.
All of them.
Yeah.
Well, we it's not exactly co-write all of them, I would say. Like, sometimes one of us will bring a song and we all... It becomes the band song, I guess.
I
But
got you.
most of the songs are co-written. There's a couple that are like, Jonathan wrote or I wrote or Ciaran wrote, whatever it is, yeah.
But you just like to put them all together.
Yeah, that's right.
It's kind of how Lennon and McCartney did it. No matter who wrote it, they put their names both on it
Yeah,
together.
it's for the band.
Yeah.
It's for the boys.
It's for boys.
Good on you, mate.
Mid Bond.
Mate.
Good on you, mate. Let's talk about Ciaran over here. You're from New Zealand.
Yep.
But originally from, where did you tell me about you?
From New Zealand originally, actually a little town called Arrowtown, hence the...
Ashes from Ash.
There you go. That's right.
And
Yeah.
Arrowtown.
Yep.
Not clever. See what you did there? Yeah.
Not
Ashes and
clever.
Try harder.
Try harder.
Maybe next time, then.
Great.
Oh, no.
So good on you.
Thanks, mate. Oh, well, good on you. Good on you, mate. Yeah.
Not
close.
good on you.
Really,
Yeah.
I guess the best way to explain it is Onya, mate. When you say that,
Onya, mate.
it's just two words. So Onya is like a Kiwi word. It's just Onya, and you pronounce it Onya.
Yeah.
And you
It's
can
like
say
onion,
you
but
can say
without the yun.
good on you, mate. Or you can just say the less formal on your mate.
Hey, man, I'm just getting used to y'all.
Good on y'all, mate.
Get out,
y'all, mate. Yeah, we have to countrify that.
On y'all, mate.
Good on y'all, mate.
Get on your mate.
On y'all, fillets.
Jonathan, tell us a little bit about you. Asheville, was that Asheville your home? Did you grow up there? Or?
No, I grew up in Winston-Salem, North Carolina,
okay.
which is like 2.5 hours east of Asheville.
Okay.
I don't have a lot to say about myself. I have a great beard.
You have a great beard.
And I'm really good at drinking coffee.
Oh, good.
That's about as far as it gets. I do have a wife.
Okay.
We've been married for almost 5 years now.
Kids?
No kids, thank God. Otherwise, I would not be doing this right now.
You'd be breastfeeding.
I'm telling you.
A man of many talents.
Yeah.
And like the reason I wouldn't be doing this is because the cost of gas, and it's either gas or nipple cream. You know.
Can't afford both.
Can't afford both.
Ben, how about you? Tell us about you. Where you from?
We moved to Asheville when I was like 1.5, so I just
1.5?
say I'm from Asheville.
Asheville. Okay.
Yeah.
Grew up there.
Grew up there, yeah.
Born and bred. Well, let me ask you this. This was an interesting story. Y'all met at a, see there, y'all.
There you go.
Y'all met at an Ewan's. That's Pittsburgh in Youngstown.
Yep.
Which, where I used to work. Anyway, you met at an open mic, was it? Is that what I heard?
Yep.
A place that you all played in common?
Yeah, is that,
tell us how it all came about.
It's a Catawba Brewing Company in Asheville.
Catawba.
Yeah. Cool open mic. Yeah, I guess I'll tell it. We, from my perspective with that whole night, this would be kind of cool actually. We get like how we all saw it, but I, rolled up on my Triumph motorcycle and
Smoking dairies.
ripping dairies, just hop off the bike.
Cigarettes.
We all kind of started. We were already doing music individually, and I had like pretty much just given up on music because I was like, all right, this isn't working out. I've been doing this for a little while. can't get anywhere. And I came to that open mic just because one of my friends was singing, and I like to support, people singing in public. And I went to see him, and I saw Jonathan sing, and I was like, damn, that guy's like, woo, not open mic material. That's like, actual concert material. And then I went up to him after, and I didn't sing. And then I ended up singing later at the end of the set. And then Jonathan came back up to me after, and he was like, dude, he kind of said the same thing I said to him, and I was like, oh, nice.
Wow.
We should get together sometime. And he told me about this other guy he had met named Ciaran. And he was like, yeah,
that would be you.
He was here too. I met him as well, blah, blah. And then the next week I came back there, and Ciaran was there, and they were talking. And I walked up, and Jonathan was like, oh, yeah, here's Ben. We met last week. We should all three get together and write. And so we got together 2 days later and started writing.
Originally to write. And then when you found out how great you guys harmonized together, you said, this is a thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was kind of, we wrote a song that Wednesday. We met on a Monday, wrote a song on Wednesday, and then that was Back to Your Body. And then we played it the next Monday.
Great song.
And after we played it, I think that's when we all kind of were like, this could be something.
Could be a thing.
Instead of just like a pastime, we could actually do something here.
So y'all met in like 2021, right? So just tail end of COVID thing happening. So probably a good time to put together a band.
Right.
And then you recorded an album, Forward.
Yeah.
Came out, when was it? Summer of 2022?
October. The whole EP was released in October. On the 7th, I think, 2022.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Where did you record it? And I know you had a pretty famous producer, too. Yeah.
Thanks to Ciaran.
Tell that story, Ciaran.
Dr. Haver.
Good on you, Matt.
Well, yeah, when I was back in New Zealand, I used to work with a gentleman, Greg Haver.
Greg Haver.
He was from Wales originally, but he moved to New Zealand and sort of became the granddaddy of the New Zealand kind of producer scene. And he's just been amazing for New Zealand music as a whole. He's instrumental in kind of organising a lot of co-writing workshops and events and stuff. Anyway,
really legendary.
Yeah, and he and I worked together, did several EPs and albums together, and we were looking for a producer in Ashville, ideally, and we couldn't land on someone that we just connected with, and so I was like, well, I know this guy Greg, let's chat with him. And he's still in New Zealand, obviously, so we jumped on a Zoom with him, and it just felt good. He seemed to kind of get us and get the music that we were going for, and we did that. We recorded the vocals and stuff in my little home studio, and he produced the record from New Zealand with a bunch of musicians, and we're really happy with how the EP turned out. We probably wouldn't do the intercontinental recording again, because it just wasn't as fun. Simply because they would do all of this stuff while we were asleep, and we would get a mix down the next day, and we were like, wow, that's really cool, but we didn't get to see it happen. So there wasn't those kind of magic studio moments.
The fun of it is watching them mix it and putting it all together.
Just seeing the musicians do brilliant stuff. So that, and we've started recording some new songs now. We're all in the studio together, and we were like, this is obviously how we want to do things. But it was that COVID time, and it was kind of, I think that was probably happening a lot during that time.
New Zealand was totally locked down, too.
Totally,
Buttoned up.
Yeah. I haven't actually been home since I moved here.
Haven't you really?
No, which is, I sort of had mixed feelings about that. Sometimes I would love to go home, but also, I love being here in the US. It's such a dream to be here. So
living in America.
Oh yeah,
good. I smell good.
Oh, that's awesome. I've never been to New Zealand, but I hear it's just absolutely beautiful.
We really want to get over there as a band at some point. It's just obviously just getting the finances together to make it happen.
It's hard to drive Old Grundy across the ocean.
That's their van, Old Grundy.
Old Grundy.
Story behind that?
Pulled
up into my driveway in Old Grundy.
Old Grundy, baby.
The story has a few pieces to it, but it basically started in 2006. I was on a trip with this Boy Scout troop that my whole family was involved in, and my dad. Boundary Waters is like a canoe area between the border of Minnesota and Canada.
Okay.
So it's very remote. You're not allowed to have any motors up there in the lake system, so it's real natural. There's no sound other than the nature.
Man!
But my dad,
imagine?
It's beautiful up there. It's really gorgeous, Kim. But so my dad was just we were hanging out one day fishing, and my dad was like, "You ever heard of Old Grundy?" And I was like, "No, Dad, I never heard of Old Grundy." And then he told me Old Grundy was this, it's the big fish that no one can ever catch, but they'll get a hook in him sometimes, but he always gets away. And so he's real ugly. He's on the bottom of the lake. He's got a bunch of hooks in his face. He's bigger than everybody else, and he's very elusive.
Mysterious.
So last year, one of my brothers was just finishing up in that scout troop, and I was like helping him get to Eagle Scout. And so we got a chance to go on the Boundary Waters together with the Boy Scout troop. So we went up there, and I told Jonathan and Ciaran about Old Grundy, like my dad did for me. And then it kind of caught on and became a thing for the band. And then we were sitting around on the way to Texas. We were trying to name the van. We had a couple names, and then Jonathan was like, or was it Ciaran? One of you guys was like, "What about Old Grundy?" And we were like, "Yeah, say less, dude. She's Old Grundy, baby."
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Great story. Let's have another song, guys. I'm just dying to hear what you guys are doing these days, and I haven't seen you in a couple of months. And big fan of what you're doing and this great sound that you have, man.
Oh, I was going to tell you something else, Dave.
Yeah, what's that, Ben? Go ahead. While they're talking about what to play.
We actually scheduled this trip initially to come here to visit with you.
To do this podcast?
Yeah, and we
bless you.
We booked the other stuff around it, like the recording and the shows and everything. So that's why we're here.
Say, I mean, you come in and you're doing like 4 or 5 shows, right? And you're going to record, and you made time for this podcast. It just means a lot to me.
Oh yeah,
and I do appreciate that.
Yeah, we're really grateful that you want to have us on.
I think you're the next big deal. I really do. And
thanks, man.
Big deal. The next big thing.
In a way,
if you wouldn't mind. Well, we were
good on you.
Good on you, mate.
Good on you, mate.
We were scheduled to do it months back, but Ben lost his voice.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
December.
right.
Yeah,
that's right. When you guys are playing,
and we miss every second of when he couldn't talk.
Those are the good old days, am I right, boys?
Only go back to the good old days.
He likes to talk, does he?
Should we play a special occasion?
Do you want to do?
Did you just do that song?
Back to Your Body in C.
Oh, good. This is from the EP, right?
We could try
Sure.
a semitone down from C.
I cannot do that.
Let's do C.
Oh, you can't do that.
We could do C because it's. I mean, what's it recorded as? C
And
sharp? Just kidding. It's in C sharp on the EP, right?
Yeah.
We could try C.
Yeah, let's go C.
Any listeners out there, just
agree on a key.
You may want to mute this part when I sing.
Burning bridges, now I guess I am that fool. Nursing whiskey on a Wednesday afternoon. Oh, I need some time, but knowing me, I'll probably let that die. I've lost so much, yet there's so much left to lose. You're in your head. Get back to your body. Take a deep breath. There is no hurry. 'Cause we weren't made to feel this anxious or this worried. Take a deep breath. Get back to your body. Wish I was stronger, but I can't seem to hold the weight up. Every place I dig inside becomes a graveyard. I cry for help, but there's no one to pull me out. Now there's nowhere left for me to dig but down. You're in your head. Get back to your body. Take a deep breath. There is no hurry. 'Cause we weren't made to feel this anxious or this worried. Take a deep breath. Get back to your body. It's a battery of heinous crimes that go against my own mind. I'm just a vagrant, wasting just a vagrant, wasting away my life. You're in your head, get back to your body. Take a deep breath, there is no hurry. We weren't made to feel this anxious or this worried. Take a deep breath, get back to your body.
Wow. Ashes and Arrows, our guest on the Songwriter Connection podcast. Ben, Jonathan, and Ciaran. Amazing song. No real lead singer in this group. You all are lead singers, and you kind of switch back and forth. And then that beautiful harmony that you put together, I like to call blood harmony. Although you're not brothers from another mother, probably.
That's right.
But man, it's like it blends so well. You guys are amazing.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah. Tell us about the writing of that song. Was that an idea that one of you brought, or just all together?
Actually, yeah.
That was the first one. I think we mentioned earlier.
That was the first one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And really?
Yeah.
And this is on the EP.
Yes.
Forward, you can find it's out there streaming everywhere.
Yeah. And when we got together that first day, I don't think certainly no one had any expectations or agendas. You know, we were just getting together to just hang out. I think we all identified like, oh, these guys, you know, they know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And we were like, let's see what happens. So we just got together and we just started talking about life, you know, and sharing out a little bit of our story. Ben was sharing about his time in the military, and Jonathan was sharing about his upbringing, and I don't know what I was saying, probably
shared about Hobbit Town.
Something, yeah.
You told us this
my
story
time
when you were a kid, actually.
Did I?
Yeah, I remember that. We can't tell it on the podcast, probably. But it's a bit inappropriate.
Well, I was a young one, you know. It's just
back when I was a wee lad.
Yeah, with the hairy feet.
Good on you, mate.
We
had a rank.
Yeah, we just. I think we all. It's funny, you know. It's funny our different perspectives because we all sort of remember different things.
Yeah.
But I remember eventually we started talking about just our internal worlds and feelings and whatnot. And I remember someone saying like being in their head and wanting to get back to their body.
You said that.
Yeah, because you're talking about. I think it was a past friend that was into like kind of helping.
That's right.
Like, what's the word for that? Like almost like not
Heal?
counseling.
Oh, it's kind of coming. Yeah, Yeah, my past friend was their work was in kind of helping guide people back to their body because so much of this modern world is so heady, quote unquote, and there's so much kind of angst and anxiety that can come with like overthinking things, over internalizing things.
That's what I was going to say, overthinking. And
right.
That's what I got out of that song.
Right.
Don't overthink it, just do it.
Yeah. And I think the conversation went somewhere along the lines of like, there's a lot of wisdom that the body just, you know, over years of evolution and has just learned these things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was kind of the topic. And I remember if I said that or someone said that and I was like, that sounds like a feel for a song. And then we kind of, we started exploring that idea. I think I had the guitar riff, and then
that's the D.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and then the song kind of flowed out pretty quickly from there. And we basically wrote it that day, and then we went away. I think we got together maybe 2 days later. Jonathan had written that bridge, the part that
that's
Ben
beautiful,
sings.
by the way.
Yeah. And
he wrote it when we. After we wrote the initial thing, we came back Friday, right?
And I distinctly remember having this feeling of not liking that bridge for a start because it was so different than anything that I would have written by myself. So that little egoic, like, I don't like it, just came in. But then, when it started growing on me, I was like, oh my God, I love this bridge. Yeah. And it completely completes the song. And and then it was that following Monday we went back to the open mic where we met and we performed it, and that for me was the moment that I was like, oh, there's something special here, because the moment we started singing, all the phones came up, and afterwards the round of applause we got was nothing that I'd experienced before. And I was like,
so you knew you were onto something.
And so these people came up to us afterwards and they were like,
this is when we knew.
They were like, can we book you for a show? Like, and we were like,
in Maryland. We're like,
in Maryland.
What?
Yeah, I was like,
we're not even a band. Like, we just met last week.
Yeah.
I still don't even know your names.
I don't even know where Chris and Devin are. Like, or whatever their names are.
Yeah. And we,
Chris and Devin? That's what you came up with?
Yeah.
Really?
Didn't even have a name then, probably.
Exactly.
Or did you? Yeah.
No, the band name certainly not. No.
Yeah, that took like 4 or 5 months, right?
Yeah, well, we didn't even become a band until 2 or 3 months later, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
September,
at least
October?
September. It might have been October of 21.
I think all of us were like excited by it, but I think it took a while for us to figure out where each other were at, because we knew subconsciously probably how much of a big commitment it is to start a band, because
it really is.
Ben mentioned like we did have our own solo things going on. I remember when I was in New Zealand, some people were we were trying to put a band together, but I was really anti the idea, because I think I still had that like, no, I want to do this solo thing. But it got to a point where it was just undeniable with us that it felt the right thing to do.
Amazing.
And here we are.
Collaborations, not only songwriters, but together as artists, and it's really something.
Yeah.
3 individuals becoming one, Ashes and Heroes.
Yeah.
And again, Ashville, North Carolina, Arrowtown,
Australia.
Australia.
No, New Zealand.
New Zealand. We always say
Bad
that.
on you, mate.
We always say that in shows to get it cured. We always tell people he's from Australia.
I've heard you say that before.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm so confused. Don't do that to me. We had Kevin Griffin, and I hate to drop names, but Kevin, a great show, the 100th episode. Go back and listen to it. And a couple things you said brought me back to the interview with Kevin. First of all, when he started his band, Better Than Ezra, they didn't have a name, and they were playing. They were playing at a. It was a battle of the bands in New Orleans.
Oh, nice.
And they didn't have a name, and they were about to take the stage, and they go, "What's the band's name?" And they said, "Well, what's the band playing right now?" They said, "They're called Ezra." He goes, "We're better than Ezra."
That's awesome.
Isn't that an awesome story? I love
That's a cool name too.
It is. It was, yeah. Huge hits, and then he's a big songwriter. But he has this songbook out right now called "The Greatest Song," and it's a parable talking about different things. And a couple of things that you mentioned in the writing of that song. Once he said, "Practice contrary action." In other words, that wasn't a bridge that you would have written. Right. You know, it was different for you.
Yeah.
But then, but you accepted it, and eventually it grew on you, and wow, you wouldn't think of any other way. Yeah. Which and the other thing you talked about, when you are collaborating and writers, sometimes it's hard to let go of that ego. And one of the things in the book that stood out to me, and I want to highly recommend this book, The Greatest Song, Kevin Griffin. He had a saying that when it comes to collaborating, your ego is not your amigo, as he would say.
Oh, that's a cool way to put it.
True.
Isn't that? Yeah.
I think there's like a tendency to like think that your idea is the best.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of liberation by assuming that someone else might have a better idea.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to fight for your idea, but like more often than not, like someone else is probably going to come up with something better than you, or they might come up with a great idea, and then you can together make it an even better idea. But you've got to let go of that initial impulse.
Yeah, and I like for me with that, because I have, I think the three of us are well aware, I have a lot of trouble with ego, like in writing, I think. And it's like, I don't necessarily think I have the best idea, but if I present an idea and then someone else has one that's better, my narrative now in my head is that I'm not as good, and so that's where to me, like that's another side of the ego, where it's like I also I kind of agree that like the other idea is probably better, but it's kind of like, but that like to me it's like that takes a little bit away of who I am, or like I'm not, I don't fit now because I don't have ideas to pitch.
Interesting. I bet a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah, it's deeper issues, but deeper.
The nice thing about collaborating, especially in a three-way co-write, like you said something and it sparks something in you, and and you go around, and so I think it's real important when you're all there, whether you feel that that taking another idea lessens yours. The thing is, just being in that room, you've sparked something, you've done something. That brought it all together into this great finished product.
Right.
So, yeah. And then after you write it, you got to take time to learn it and get it down, right? Tell us about that process a little bit. Man, 10,000 hours I've always heard.
Right.
That's actually kind of funny. I remember, when we decided to start a band, I think that was right before we went to the first writers weekend we did in Boone, where we wrote Baby Girl and Born to Love and Golden Mountain, right?
Yeah. Love Golden Mountain. Ooh, great song.
And we never really literally never practiced as a band until like the week or 2 weeks before we had the Orange Peel show 2 weeks ago. So like 2023 was like our first real practice. Usually it was just us starting a show and being like, we don't have that many songs that we know, but we just wrote these 3 songs, so let's try playing those. And it would suck for like the first 2 or 3 shows, and then after like 4 or 5 shows, the songs are nailed down and we got them.
Yeah,
we practiced live. You
practice live.
Doing it live. Do it live.
We kind of started just doing that.
Yeah.
And this year we've kind of been more like, all right, we need to quit doing this.
We should practice.
We're not in a place anymore to like just practice on stage. So we got to like get these nailed down before we play them.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot of natural talent right there to be able to do that.
Right.
Yeah. Me, I got to practice it.
It's an insane amount of talent, Dave. You're right.
Yeah, it's an insane.
Very talented.
Talent, yeah.
But most importantly, we're just very humble.
I love about you.
Yeah.
You're so humble. There's so much more I want to talk about. We're going to take a little break and we come back and hear a new song from Ashes and Arrows. Don't go away.
You're listening to the Songwriter Connection, connecting with music makers and hearing their songs and stories. Now back to the show with your host, Dave Linehan.
Thanks for sticking with us after a short break. Ashes and Arrows from Ashville, North Carolina, made the trip into Nashville to do the podcast, and they've got 4 shows this week, and they're recording this week, and they're in great demand when they do it come into town. How about another song, you guys?
Let's do it.
Got to hear you guys sing.
You guys want to do Golden Mountain?
Yeah.
Oh, I love this Golden Mountain song.
Yeah.
Are we doing the live version?
Do it live.
Yeah, why not?
This cough I have is killing me right now.
Legend.
Whoa, whoa, there's gold in the mountain. Whoa, whoa, it's pulling me in. But God knows my love lies with you, and I'll always come back in the end. Here's a life just death and taxes. Surely there's more than that. 'Cause I've heard there's gold in the mountain, and I dream of the secrets they have. You stayed with me through the muck and the mire. You've given me all that you have. I wanna prove, though, this distance between us, our love will always remain. Whoa, whoa, there's gold in the mountain. Whoa, whoa, it's pulling me in. But God knows my love lies with you, and I'll always come back in the end. Look at the moon and the stars, the symphony attuning their strings. But I've heard there's gold in the moments, even the ones out of frame. Whoa, whoa, there's gold in the mountain. Whoa, whoa, it's pulling me in. But God knows my love lies with you, and I'll always come back in the end. Life is a dance between dreams and romance. Darling, won't you take my hand? In the long nights often I find myself wondering if we could walk the knife's edge. Don't blink an eye, 'cause the moment might pass. There are no guarantees. It's hard to say where it might lead. Oh, but darling, I'll never leave. Oh, mountain, whoa, is pulling me in. But God knows my love lies with you, and I'll always come back in the end.
Wow. Get on your man.
On you, fellas. Get on you, man. Well done.
Fantastic. Ashes and Arrows. Amazing, guys. Love this song. Again, that's another one from the EP.
Correct.
And it's out there streaming everywhere. Yes, you guys keep pretty busy. We're taping this. We're recording this in May. I still am old school taping. We're recording this in early May, and you just came off back from the MerleFest.
We did.
And if you're not familiar with the MerleFest, man, that is one festival in North Carolina that is pretty famous.
It's a big deal, yeah.
A big deal, yeah. And that had to be an honor.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah. Named for Merle Watson, who was the son of Doc Watson.
Yeah.
And they're both passed now. But,
and Merle's son passed as well.
Yeah.
Like a couple years ago, I think.
Oh, did?
Yeah.
No kidding.
It's really sad.
Wow, very sad. So tell us about that, man. What experience that had to be. Jonathan, what's going on with that? What happened?
Well, we got invited to play in this band competition. And we don't really know, and I never really have, how we got onto that.
Really have.
I have no idea how we actually got into the competition. I've been told there was like
somebody entered you.
Yeah, I guess so.
Wow.
Actually, real quick, that was kind of a funny story. We were all like sitting around lunch one day at MerleFest, and we had just found, because Jonathan's family was there, so Ciaran and I were kind of wandering around together. We found Jonathan at lunch, and we had just been talking about how, like, hey, did you reach out to them to get us this show? No. Did you do it? No, I didn't do it. Maybe Jonathan must have done it. And we like sat down with Jonathan. We were like, hey, when did you email them about us playing here? And he was like, I didn't do anything. They emailed us, dude.
Wow, your reputation preceded you.
That was kind of cool, yeah.
I guess so.
That is an awesome honor.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Because that's huge.
It was super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like what it was is the band competition. I think there was 8 bands or 9 bands, including us. And essentially on Saturday, they had you show up and play 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then you'd play, and it's a small little stage, like, in this little tiny corridor of an outdoor space. And
there's a bigger stage, like right above, like 100 yards up the hill.
Yeah.
That was at a college, right? It's a college?
Yeah, it was Wilkes County Community College.
Okay, yeah.
And so we played, we got up there and played 15 minutes. It was pretty surreal because we weren't really expecting much because like I only got to watch 2 bands and they were really good people, like really good bands.
Yeah.
They were playing a lot of bluegrass music and I was kind of like thinking in my head going like, okay, well, we're probably not going to win this because everybody's doing bluegrass. And we're like up there doing not bluegrass. Like if there's an opposite, we're not quite the opposite, but we're not.
Well, Doc always said I play traditional plus.
Well, we had the plus.
You had the plus.
Yeah. But we ended up winning, and the winner,
you won it.
We did.
You won
the whole thing.
Yeah.
Congrats! That's awesome.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So the winner got to play Sunday morning at 11 on what they call the hillside stage.
Wow.
Which was the stage that was like 100 yards from us during the competition.
Yeah.
It was going to be super awesome, and it was super awesome, but it was also pretty dang early for us and rainy. But we had people come out. I mean, they were out there cheering us on, sold a bunch of hats.
Yeah,
that was really tight.
Bunch of merch.
Yeah, you got merch out there.
We do.
Yeah.
Lots of merch. On our website, ashesandarrows.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to buy some,
merch.
go buy it.
There you go.
If you don't, buy it anyway.
Put me down for a
We'll,
and a t-shirt.
We'll put you down for 12.
Just give you a hat today.
Yeah, I could use 12 of them.
Oh, gosh. But yeah,
what are you wearing today? I am the Ashes and Arrow collection.
So we also have
the red carpet.
Yeah, we also have rain jackets, so you can even get a jacket.
Oh, there you go. One might need that. So this is a Taylor Swift weekend in Nashville, and it's supposed to rain.
Who's that
all
again?
3 days. She's some girl. Some girl.
Taylor Swift. What?
Taylor Swift.
Who is that?
I wonder if she's ever been called Taylor Swift.
Maybe on 420.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That ship is sailed.
Easy on the split there, man.
I'm sorry. It was harsh, a little harsh. But so you won this thing, and you played the big stage at MerleFest.
Yeah. And then supposedly we get to come back and play next year.
Yeah.
We don't know that for certain.
I would think.
But actually, I don't know. We had people that worked at MerleFest be like, yeah, you guys will definitely come back next year if you won the competition. But we haven't. You're right. I guess we haven't gotten like an official email yet from MerleFest. Yeah,
you probably will. It's
Let's
a year
hope so.
away, right?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Sure. Absolutely. What a great feeling that must have been.
Yeah,
fun,
it was cool.
And it was coming right off that high of play. We got to open for a band called Judah and the Lion.
Oh yeah.
And that was
Orange
just such a crazy
Amazing.
night.
That was
Yeah.
insane, dude. Yeah,
Get to
that
hang
was
with those
awesome.
guys a bit.
We did.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Good guys.
Oh, they're super tight.
Yeah.
Super
Cool.
tight. And they're here in Nashville. They live here.
Yeah.
So
They do, don't they?
They do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they're in the van right now, waiting for us to come back out.
Yeah, we're in
Old
timeout.
Grandy. They're in timeout.
cut it out.
No, go right ahead.
Listen here, Brian.
Judah, inside voices, please.
Oh, well, what's next for you guys? What's the thing? What's the dream? 5 years from now.
Well, 2 years from now, we're supposed to be playing Wembley Stadium in 2025. So,
Seriously?
well, that's what I've been saying since we met. So I'm still saying it, and I'm just trying to.
I believe in manifesting.
push it on to 25. Until we were on the stage.
Yeah, I like that.
But
like
in reality, yeah, we're recording. We're trying to sort out what the best way is for us to manage our social media and our content creation and
Because you're doing it all yourself, right? You're the
Yeah.
DIY artist.
Yeah, we are.
You're doing a heck of a job getting your name out there.
Thanks. We're kind of doing the best we can. But yeah, I mean, we're kind of we kind of change what we think we're supposed to do, and as we go, and we learn as we go. But I think the goal right now is just keep playing, keep writing music, keep recording music, and so that way when something does happen, like we're ready to go, and we're ready to get out there.
You've been playing a lot. You've been getting out there. You said Oregon earlier.
Yeah,
We've been there. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oregon, California, Pennsylvania, Texas, South
Maryland.
Carolina, Maryland,
North
here,
Carolina.
Tennessee, North
Amazing.
Carolina.
cocktail
That's
shrimp.
eight states, right? Is that what we figured out?
Yeah. What? Cocktail shrimp. I tell you what, son.
I tell you what.
Yeah, I think it's
Somebody's hungry.
I guess.
we actually were just chatting on the way up here. Some close family friends of ours are, diehard fans of the band and supporters of the band, really believe in us. And they said, I think Jonathan mentioned it, that they said, y'all need to dream really big.
I think you do.
And it's hard sometimes to dream big when you're just in the grind of it, because we work, we want to put as much time into the band as possible, but there's just the natural limitations at the moment.
Y'all have
of
real
how much
jobs.
time. Right.
Yeah.
And we,
Well, I just quit my job actually.
yeah, you quit your job.
Scary stuff.
Yeah, which is, I think, ultimately a good thing, because I think I would love to quit my job as well, and I think, but it's going to come to that point where I think we've got enough stuff going on that we're like, let's dive into this fully. But it's just like we've got our idols, and our heroes, and the bands that we look up to, and I think it's like,
Tell us about some of them.
well, I mean, we all have our own distinct styles. I think that was an interesting thing about the band, is like, Ben come from a kind of punk rock pop background.
Yeah.
Jonathan, I'm kind of speaking for the guys here, but from my
Speak for
perspective,
yourself.
Jonathan, speak yourself.
Get your hand off it, Daryl.
Jonathan comes from a what you would say it better than me. I'd say like the
I just want to hear
southern
you
gospel.
say it.
Okay, I'll say it. Jonathan comes from like the southern gospel,
wow.
Americana roots,
Yeah.
and then I am more in the like singer-songwriter pop world.
Wow.
So we all, I think, had different, say, heroes growing up in terms of the artists we listen to and whatnot. But as a band, I think we don't like to box ourselves in terms of what genre we write because of that.
You've listened to this
phenomenon.
podcast then.
Right.
Because I keep preaching that all the time.
Yes,
Yeah.
Dave.
Yeah.
Yes.
Always.
Yeah.
Genres are dumb.
Yeah, they really are. You got to be you. There's
Just
nobody
right.
else. There's not an Ashes and Arrows out there.
Right.
There wasn't a Taylor Swift before.
Yeah, exactly.
And now there's Taylor Swift, this like no name,
Crazy.
taking over Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Well, I love that. That's really great. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it seems to be that like there still seems to be a how do you say it? There's like a feeling that we get when we write a song together that like feels like an Ashes and Arrows song, and even though it might be different. We wrote a little song the other day that's kind of like a Simon Garfunkel-y one.
Really?
Yeah,
And
it
we're
would
still
be cool
figuring it
kinda,
out.
It would be cool to kind of like blink through that on the podcast if we have time.
But
just to show.
It's
You want to?
what was the original question? I'm sorry. I've just started.
Who your heroes were? You were talking about listening to your heroes.
Right. So
Yeah.
the point I brought that up was like, I think as a band, the people that we can see that are in our lane, so to speak, the likes of Judah and the Lion, who we opened up for, Need to Breathe, Ben Richter.
Okay, there you go.
These types of bands that are in that world. I think it's easy to look at them and idolize them and be like, oh man, like
Gotta be like them.
We've got to be like them, and they're so much further ahead than us.
Yeah.
But I really liked what Jonathan said about what his family said was like, dream bigger. Like what if you were to push the boat out farther than that, you know? And it's hard to like maintain that vision, but
it's also hard to figure out what that even looks like.
Exactly.
Like I don't really know what, let's say we, for instance, we'll take Taylor Swift. She's considered like one of the biggest icons of our time in the world.
Yeah.
But it's like, what does that even really mean?
Maybe,
You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, what does it mean to dream like that? Like, what's the actual dream? Is it the dream to like just be known? Is the dream to be just on a big stage? Like, it's kind of all of it, of course, but I feel like trying to figure out what the dream is for me is hard. Like, what is the actual dream? Like, I want to do music. That's part of the dream. I want to do music with these guys. That's the other part of the dream. And then I want people to enjoy it. So, I mean, for the most, like, the thing is, like, almost 90% of the dream is already, like, fulfilled, so to speak.
Right.
And then
Love
it's just scaling it.
right.
Yeah.
But then what does that mean? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I want old Grundy to run it for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I
What
look
you guys
forward
say,
to.
Yeah.
the other day when we were on stage opening up for Judah and the Lion, like that to me feels like all the pieces came together where we're playing music with our friends, but we're playing in front of a crowd that is like
into it.
And like that to me is the dream.
Yeah.
So if you can travel around the world meeting awesome people and playing shows like that, and I think that really is everyone's dream. That's because the feeling is incredible. Where you feel at ease on stage, you know the songs, you feel the songs, and people are feeling them back is like, because I'd say 90% of the shows we play are in kind of restaurant-y bar kind of things, and there's people that are into it, but you can't beat having 1,000 people in a room that they're sole focused. They're not eating, they're not talking with their friends, they're watching you, they're right with you. That feeling, I think that's really what our dream is, and what, like Jonathan said, is like, how do you scale that you can do that every week.
Well, and on top of that, it's like the other, I think, I know we all are thinking this, like we always think about it, but when you think about dreams, it's hard to think about the impact of the music. And I just started thinking back, like some of these songs, like Born to Love, that's on the EP.
Yeah.
Like we've had people come up to us saying like that song like really meant a lot to them, and it.
Do you want to tell that story?
Yeah.
I can, yeah. So
Yeah,
like, we
do
had
it.
a
Really cool story from that
Because
song.
to me, that's payday as a songwriter.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's like what.
Yeah.
I don't. It's like one of the biggest reasons why you want to write music is to
Exactly
so
right.
connect with people and like and
Right?
they
Yeah.
actually hear it, and it's something to them. It's not just a song.
Absolutely.
But there was this guy. I can't remember if we had already recorded it or we were in the middle of recording. I couldn't remember when this whole situation happened anymore. But essentially, I went and played an open mic in Ashville, and I played Born to Love, and it was just me playing Born to Love. And this guy came up and just gave me a big hug, and he was like, "I really need that tonight." And I kind of just said, "Oh,
Okay.
you're welcome." Like no big deal. I didn't know what I was like getting involved with.
Just give them a good one, mate.
And then a few weeks later, I went back to that same open mic, and I didn't play Born to Love again, but I was just playing. I got down off the stage, and this guy again came over. I didn't recognize him at first, but he gave me a really long hug. I mean, this hug was
Starting to get weird.
yeah. Like, I didn't know what I was doing in this moment, and he was, Born to Love is about having like suicidal thoughts, having mental like health issues, but also dealing with just life as a whole.
Yeah.
And so he said to me that night, he was like, that night that you played Born to Love, I was going to kill myself.
Oh, my God.
And then when I heard that song,
I did.
It saved my life because I called my friends and like they'd been like rallying with me since then. So those moments are like the real. I mean, it's hard to like quantify it as a dream, but it's like the best part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's an amazing story. Man, that just sent chills up my neck there. Man, crazy. Man.
Yeah.
Something else. Well, you know what? Now we got to hear that song. Can we play that?
I can.
When I say we, I mean you.
Y'all want to play it in C?
C sharp.
Yeah.
I can't sing it in C.
C sharp.
We have sung it in C before, but we can play it in C sharp. I'm just thinking, is everyone's voice good? I'm good for
Yeah,
C sharp.
yeah, we can do it.
All right. Get on you, mate.
Born to Love.
Born to Love?
Born to Love.
Born to Love.
Also, like, this song is, like, we wrote this from, like, real experiences, like, between us. So it is, like, it is very personal for us, too. That's another reason, to me, why it was so cool when that guy was, like, it hit him like that, and it saved his life, and that was awesome.
Well, Ben. Born to Love, Ashes and Arrows on the Songwriter Connection podcast.
Wading through the darkest night, when rivers become tidal, I use my list to break the pain, hoping for survival. I don't want to lose my sight, but my mind is caving in. To love, to breathe and not give up. But in the face of darkness, I won't run. We were born to love. How could I ever win this fight? My mind is caving in. There's comfort in my rituals, but the devil makes disciples. All I made is foolish gold. I'm the enemy and rival. Could I ever regain hope? I've lost my innocence. Cause we were born to love, to breathe and not give up. But in the face of darkness, I won't run. Am I ever gonna win? Because my flesh and bones tell me that I am down again. But is it too late for this life to be made new? If I'm gonna climb out, no, I've gotta climb out for you. No, I am broken, but am I ever gonna win? My flesh and bones tell me that I am down again. But is it too late for this life to be made new? If I'm gonna climb out, no, I've gotta climb out for you. Oh, if I'm gonna climb out, no, I've gotta climb out for you. Cause we were born love, to breathe and not give up. But in the face of darkness, I won't run. We were born to love. We were born to love. To breathe and not give up. But in the face of darkness, I won't run. We were born to love.
Man.
Gotta add the slide for Nashville.
Amazing, guys. That's a song that has to be heard from a group that has to be heard. Ashes and Arrows. I feel your passion, and I think that you should dream big because that passion is going to take you far. I really do.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Thanks for taking the time to be on the podcast.
Absolutely.
I wish you all the success
awesome.
and all the best to you.
Thanks,
I really do. You guys are amazing. Ciaran, Jonathan, Ben, thank you so much.
Get on your man.
Thanks, Dave. Good
Thank
on
you
man.
for listening to the Songwriter Connection podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Songwriter Connection podcast. Find us on social media at Songwriter Connection. Also, listen to Dave Lanahan's Nashville Connections radio show. It streams live every Friday morning on WOBL and WNOI. Look for us on Facebook and YouTube. See you next time on Songwriter Connection.